What's going on with Jeff? He's the man of mystery over
it's
there.
like
He's in the witness protection program.
I don't know. Well, you know, when he just talks normally, he sounds like the people on the altered voice.
Don't call me paranoid. I keep the demons from your soul.
All right, take 4. Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of Bootleg Mercy Roughcuts, episode 7. 7? And I'm back. Look, everybody, I'm back.
Yeah.
Back in the studio, and Jeff's pointing down at something.
Probably the subscribe button.
Oh, is that subscribe? Subscribe, like. Hey, and you know what we really need you guys to do? We need some comments. That way I have something to respond to, because I'm tired of being the only one who comments on these videos, because then I have to switch over to the Bootleg account and reply to my own comments. It makes me feel a little desperate, to be honest.
So it's a usual Friday night for Eric.
Yeah. That's how we feed that algorithm. So, of course, to my right, to your left, I've got the one and only Rich Thompson.
Hi.
Hi, Rich.
Hi.
And in the blue shirt, we've got the what's the good word? Incomparable
Yeah.
Curtis Nightingale.
Hi, Curtis.
Hi, Rich.
And then, of course, in the Kansas City shirt with the blurry background, we have the
Satanist.
No, he's reformed.
Is he? Well, I don't know. What's that Kansas City mean? Huh?
Yeah.
Kansas.
We've got the one
City. Satan.
Oh, the one and only Jeff Butler, everyone. Thank you.
If it was the red Kansas City shirt, that would probably be Satanist.
That's true.
Well said.
How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good?
Yeah, doing great, man.
Y'all have a good weekend?
Oh yeah.
Do anything cool this weekend?
Played a gig.
A what?
In front of people.
Holy cow.
Yeah, in our hometown
of Salina, Kansas.
Yes.
67401.
Oh, wonderful.
Longitude 62.3596.
You got me on that one.
I have no idea the longitude or latitude, but I do know those are words.
I will say, speaking of the gig, I will say that's probably one of the better attended shows we've done at that particular establishment, the Paramount.
I would say is one of the better participated shows we've done, period. I mean, they were very responsive from the first song and stuck around. They danced, they sang, they cheered for songs they've never heard before.
Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. We had people singing along with our songs, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard people hooting and hollering when Rich said, this next one's called The Trees Are Listening, when he was trying to sound cool. And I heard people go, woo! I was like, really? Cool. People they know what we're doing. I thought that
we had
they knew what song we were playing, but
yeah, Jeff didn't.
We had multiple people that drove more than an hour to come to that show.
Yeah, that was cool.
Multiple people.
Yeah. And I took multiple phones from people to type in Bootleg Mercy and whatever, if it was Spotify or YouTube. I got us 2 subscriptions out of that deal.
Dude, we've got to get that scan code of
it's right over there with the shirts that didn't show.
I'm just saying we got to start get a habit of putting that on the front of the stage, and then we can just talk to it and people can go up and snag it. That and bring our shirts maybe would be another option. That'd be cool.
I did text Rich to do that, and he chose not to.
Yeah, no, I had my notifications off, so when I was gone, I didn't see it until I was about a block away from.
He was already gone he forgot a minor detail coming to a gig. He forgot a guitar at a gig, a guitar that he has to play.
I don't recall.
He said, I forgot one of my guitars.
He said, oh, I can go without it. Oh, wait a minute. we start naming off all the songs that he needs that guitar for. It's like, you go get it.
Yeah,
but luckily
there was only like 5 songs that, was drop
all of ours.
Yeah,
all of ours.
Yeah. All right, Curtis, I need you to play the intro to Lift and Divide. Oh shit. So I had 2 favorite moments, I think, Saturday night. Well, I had more than that, but I have 2 that I'm ready to share. The first favorite moment was when this young lady, before the gig, when we were set up, ready to go, we were waiting on sound and all that. This lovely young woman came up to me and she looked at me with a smile. And I know, I'm sorry, babe. I know you're listening. She said, "Ooh, are you the singer in the band?" And I said, "No." I said, "I'm the drummer, actually." And she goes, "Oh," and then she walked away. So that was the highlight of my night right there. Made me feel great.
What was the worst part of it? That she confused you with Rich, or that she was disappointed you weren't the singer?
I think she was just looking for a singer. I don't think she cared who it was. Whoever was holding the microphone was going to get her attention.
No. My question was, which part of it crushed you more? That she confused you with Rich, or she was disappointed you weren't the singer?
The second part. Rich is cute. I don't mind being compared to Rich. But my second favorite moment of the night, which this we ought to probably get a good reaction out of Curtis on this one. On the very second song we played of the night, the song finishes. The gentleman with the long hair comes up and tries to tell Curtis, "Now, when I play that song, I play on the second fret or something." And Curtis is sitting there like, "Oh," and in my mind, I'm just thinking what Curtis is about to say, and it's nothing I can repeat on this podcast. But that I was laughing so hard back there.
And then he, he'd had enough to drink that he needed to tell me how you play the entire song.
Right.
Because he just kept going, and I'm like trying to be friendly, but then it's like, dude, I'm like playing here. I gotta,
I think that's the same guy as I was doing some sort of screaming part, where not really screaming, I was singing it.
Chevelle.
But he was like, "Hey, just like he was pointing at his throat and like sitting there trying to tell me something." The same guy. And I was like,
"That's awesome."
So his buddy was the guy that had the
poofy
80s hair. Right.
Yeah.
And he was trying to,
56.
he was working on me trying to get that guy up on stage to sing, because that guy's really good.
yeah.
Oh, I could tell by his hair.
And he kept, "Oh no, you got to get him. You guys know any Rat? Man, he's like the second coming of Stephen Piercy. You've got to get him on stage." Like, no, really, we don't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fun. I mean, anytime Curtis gets a free guitar lesson at a gig, I think that helps us as a band.
Total bonus.
Yeah. I love the vocal courses too. It's great.
Mhm.
Coming from somebody who's about 20 years younger than me.
Yeah.
It's like,
With no front teeth.
Right.
Did you see that when those two head butted? The guitar teacher, vocal instructor, and another guy at the front of the stage were both head banging, and they hit heads. And when they hit heads, that dude's teeth came out on the floor.
Oh no.
It's like his front four teeth all were a partial, and they ended up on the floor. And he didn't even know they got knocked out of his mouth. And he's over there rubbing his head, and he goes off back, to soak his wounds or whatever. And somebody picks up his teeth and take them back to him.
So I'm guessing that Saturday wasn't the first time he tried to tell somebody how to play a song on stage.
Totally, like I said. He said something about, he was telling me about it, and he was like, "Yeah, man, they didn't even get stepped on." And I go, "Well, as far as you know," he goes, No. He said, "They got stepped on one time and they're bent just a certain way. So when I put them in, I can feel that they're bent, and they were still bent the same." Or so he picked them up off the floor and stuck them right back in.
Oh gosh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're going to top that, but anybody else have anything cool stories about Saturday?
He was telling his buddy, "Loving you's a dirty job, and I'm the man to do it."
Wow. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind
Sorry.
of cool. So, not that it would matter to you guys, but two of those guys that showed up at the show were one guy. I don't know if he watches these, but Kong, if you were watching this. So when I played in the oldies band, the 50s and 60s band, Kong was our roadie / bartender. And that guy, he makes a drink that he invented, I think, called the Borracho, which is, if you drink 3 of those, you're in big trouble. It's kind of one of those deals, And that was his, that was his thing. I mean, he made these Borrachos. It was like Suiza silver tequila and there's Secchi's beer. And I mean, it's just got this all stuff in it. The other guy, though, the guy with him, Danny, Danny was actually the roadie of my very first band. We're talking back in the 80s.
Really?
Danny used to load our gear and hang
He
out.
didn't even
with
look
us.
old enough.
Yeah, Danny's older than I am.
Wow.
Really?
But yeah, he used to.
He looks
used to
way
hang out-
better than you.
Well, you know, but he hung out with us and helped haul our gear, and he was a good dude. So it was kind of cool. It was kind of a meeting of the worlds, you know. And those
Sure.
those two guys were hanging out together. I didn't even know they knew each other,
Wow.
Huh.
and then they both came up to
Yeah.
Small world. Yeah.
Well, I was there when they came up. You seemed genuinely excited to see him, so that
Yeah.
was really cool.
Yeah, I bet you I hadn't seen him in 20 plus years. I haven't seen him.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was pretty cool. So
Yeah. And an ex coworker or something of yours that came too. He was
oh yeah.
taking videos and stuff like that. He
Oh, the Bennington
yeah.
shirt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
McPherson, he had a
Yeah.
McPherson
Storm.
or something.
Yeah, his name's Storm. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was telling me that he'd like to go on the road with us when we
Yeah,
I was like,
Yeah.
all right, man, you got the job.
He's like, I'm perfectly fine doing what I'm doing, but at some point, man, when you guys make it big, I'm ready to go.
Oh, we have to make. Oh, so he's wanting compensation.
Yeah.
He's not just ready to go with us now to our gigs for
Yeah,
free
yeah.
and
His
help us carry stuff in.
yeah, see, his wife's in the guards, and she's deployed. She's gone.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know where
Okay.
she's at right now. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, my one of my favorite parts was when I was going to get onto the bar. Normally, at these deals, I go around the bar, get up on the sink, and then get up on the bar. It's kind of like a ladder type thing. Well, I saw a spot open at the bar, and I was like, I'm taking it. So I'm running over there. Some lady was, wanting to get in there too, and I'm sitting there singing, and I'm trying to get up on the bar, and she's like looking at me like I'm kind of rude, and then she sees the microphone in my hand, and she goes, "Oh," and then she backs off like that. And then as I'm trying to get up on the bar, I find out that the stool is not a stationary stool; it actually swivels.
Oh,
And so I'm about to bust it, and so I end up crawling onto the bar, and the bartenders are just laughing, very.
I've seen you
Hard
have
at me.
some near
Yeah.
misses in
Yeah.
our years of doing this.
Yeah, talk about an embarrassing way of getting on top of a bar, but I made it work.
Yeah, man, you've always got it. You got the magic.
I, I turned it into a sexy crawl,
That's why you're the number one front man in the state of Kansas,
Yep.
according to anonymous polls.
Yeah.
Still
Anonymous
waiting to
blog
find that
we've never
magazine,
seen.
Yeah. So doing things a little different.
Hey,
Well-
so let me jump in here real quick.
Okay.
We just posted something on social media. I wanted
Oh.
to, in case anybody's watching and they tune us off after 3 or 4 minutes here, I'm probably too late already, but hey, check Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. There's a post out there where we're giving away something. You need to find the post, do what the post tells you, and you receive something. So if you're watching this and you haven't done that yet, check it out. So that's all.
What's funny is Rich is genuinely confused. He doesn't know what you're talking about. Microphone down. Go ahead and fix that, Rich.
I'm trying to enter into.
He's trying to win something.
You can do it later.
He's a winner.
You can do it later. No, I went and looked and I didn't see it immediately when I was looking on my phone, and then I saw Rhonda what she had said on the post, and so yeah, on the phone anyway, it's not blatantly obvious where it was, but I'll look again after the podcast, but because I'm going to sign up too because I want something free.
Well, I will say this in full transparency, I had forgot to hit publish, and so
Oh,
what was supposed to be there wasn't showing yet.
gotcha.
As soon as I saw her message, I was like, "Oh crap!" And so I hit publish, and then I was like, "Hey, just scroll down a little bit."
That's hilarious. So it's now published. You're saying it's now good to
There.
go.
It's absolutely there. Yeah.
So you're saying that if a guy was to share his screen in the middle of the podcast, like me right now, if I was to do that, then we would be able to show people right below. Okay, this is the home screen. Scroll down, you got the video for the veil up at the top, and then right below it,
What?
burning. subscribe to our mailing list and get the lyric video for our next song before it is released. Boom.
That is it.
That's the kind of stuff that the professionals do. And obviously that's us.
Oh, yeah.
Man, look at this website, Curtis. You are just the man. Music players got our songs.
That's the first time you've been on it?
No, I'm trying to sell it to people so they'll go and a store. They can buy shirts on here. That's incredible. They can see close-ups of Jeff playing bass. That's even more incredible.
Jeff, our front man.
Yeah. Hey, and
check this out.
oh,
If you
no.
go back.
All right,
I
I'll
have
stop.
to share up here.
I'll stop sharing.
You're blurred.
Yeah, you're blurred there,
You're blurred.
Zoomy.
Wow.
Good try though. Well, while we're in the mode of screen sharing, I do have something for you guys that I think is kind of neat. You might like. Let me pull it up here. Oops, what happened? There it is. All right, I want you guys to take a look at this. Now, everybody out there needs to know that yes, we are in this band for the money. So I need to know what color of what are they called? Ferraris that you guys want, because look at this. Quarterly pro royalties. Penny, 8 cents, 4 cents, $1.10. That's triple digits. I mean, it's got a decimal, but it's still triple digits.
It is triple digits.
So I just want you guys to know
We're in the 3-figure range.
we are in the 3-figure range. If you add all those up, it's even more than $1.10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just want to throw that out there, guys, to
That's just
start
in
making
case any-
plans.
In case anybody wants to know what 25,000 plays of your song will get you,
That's
there
it.
you go. That's it. Shut-ching.
That's $1 and in the teens of change. No. That would have been 2023. $1.23.
Okay, so we need to hire an accountant and
Yeah.
a financial advisor at this point.
Yeah, when you're talking about money like that, you've got to have somebody that knows what they're doing to handle it. So because we always put this towards the end of the night, maybe a lot of people don't see it. I want to play a game that we like to call "What Are You Drinking?"
Oh,
I think we'll start with Curtis.
Curtis is,
There you go. The old standby.
yeah, but this is the single barrel select stuff.
Oh,
So see, it's not just your regular black label. It's the, yeah, so pretty smooth.
work must be going well.
yes.
He must be performing well.
Pretty smooth.
Is it
Yes, yes, it is.
smooth like Rich's chest?
Pretty smooth.
Look at that.
Yes.
Oh, there's a hair. There's one.
Oh, the brightness.
Yeah, adjust that on your camera. Jeff, what are you drinking tonight, buddy?
Well, I was obscured there, but a little bit of this stuff.
Fireball, eh?
Fireball, and some of the Captain Morgan sliced apple.
Ah.
So you're mixing that together?
Yes, sir.
Is there
And
any
a little
mixing in
splash
it or
of- little
anything? Or is
splash
it...
of Sprite on top.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice. That's pretty tasty.
it is very tasty.
You know, I've never drank Fireball on purpose. It's always been when people
Buying you
here,
shots.
take shots, man. I'm like, oh, come on.
Take a shot.
That's all right though.
I prefer that actually.
You prefer Fireball?
Yep. I mean, I'll take apple pie shot number one, but the
Sure.
Fireball is pretty solid.
Oh,
I'm not a big fan of the black licorice Jaeger
Jaeger?
stuff. Yeah. So when people get that to me, I'm like, oh, yes, I take a NyQuil, you know.
right. This isn't very rock and roll of me, but since, and you guys know I don't drink very often at gigs because I'm usually driving. I actually hate it when people bring me shots, because if I'm not drinking, the last thing I want to do is just a shot of whiskey or whatever it is, or tequila, just out of the blue. But maybe someone will watch this and they stop buying me shots. Maybe they'll bring me some French fries.
You know, it's funny because most, yeah, or tater tots.
Tater tots.
Yeah.
Give them a tray.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nachos.
Yeah. Hey man, I
yes,
know what I'm
yes, I
about.
will.
Man.
Whose are those? Nachos.
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 I know what I'm about. This, you know.
Yeah.
What do you got, Rich?
Van Halen had the brown M&Ms and Eric will have his nachos.
Nachos. No, I'll stick with tater tots.
Well, I got in this here brown paper sack from what they call elderberry mead. So No, I was
very
thinking.
perplexed look on
Yeah.
Curtis's face.
Yes. It's says, "Lend unto us thine ears as we bestow upon thee a tale most worthy from days gone by." Yeah, and it goes on and on about kings and queens and drinking honey wine, and so that's basically what it is. It tastes like pure honey.
So I belong to a brewers guild there in Salina, and we meet
Mhm.
once a month, right?
Mhm.
And last month, one of the other brewers, he brews meads also, and he brought a pineapple mead. And that
Ooh.
doesn't sound like it would be that good, but I'm telling you, it was amazing because it's basically
Sounds
pineapple
amazing.
and honey, you know.
Yeah.
So
oh,
is that what is mead an alcohol that's made out of honey, like
correct.
fermented honey?
Yep.
correct?
Okay, I never knew what mead was.
Yeah, it is.
Instead of using sugar, you use honey.
I
to-
got you.
It is
Damn
delicious.
furnace is loud.
Delicious.
Well, I didn't dust my bottle, but I'm drinking Willet tonight. It's a, very fine bourbon. It's 47%, 94 proof. It's got some notes of citrus, like kind of orangey aftertaste.
Mhm.
But I drink it straight on ice. It's very fantastic. No need for a mixer.
Yep.
No burn. It's good stuff.
You got a fancy whiskey ball of ice in there, do you?
I do have a whiskey ball, and I'm drinking out of a tumbler, a whiskey glass that was a wedding present from Curtis and Michelle.
Oh.
So this is actually one of my favorite whiskey glasses because it's really thick, really durable, feels good in the hand.
It's like I drink whiskey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially. I've got a couple up there that just don't quite cut the mustard, but
What else does a newly married man need than something to drink whiskey out of?
that is so true.
Preach.
Preach, preach, brother. Oh goodness. Yeah, so keep things rolling along. I thought I like to pick something every week that's something fun to talk about.
Mhm.
Maybe sometimes a little nostalgia in there. I want to talk about what was your first instrument, like for
Ooh.
not necessarily for band at school, but what was your first instrument got you into rock and roll, got you into where you are now at the pinnacle of your career in Bootleg Mercy? Go ahead, Rich.
Well, the first band instrument I had was the clarinet. And yeah, if anything says rock and roll, it's a clarinet.
And my
Jethro
wife
Tull
played,
played a flute.
my wife played clarinet too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
and she's a lady, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But see what
My
happened is
daughter does too. That's weird.
then I went through puberty and then I started playing bass clarinets.
Oh, that's
Well,
much better.
of course. But of course.
Distinguished.
And the only reason why is because a buddy of mine, he said, "Hey man, I got this trick I want to show you." I was like, "Okay," and he's like, "Let me see your clarinet." And then, okay, so anybody out there, if anybody says they got a trick they want to show you and they want to borrow an instrument of yours to show you the trick, don't do it.
No.
I, however, was young and naive, and I said, "Okay." And he proceeded to put it in between his legs and breaks it in half. And I'm like, yeah. Imagine seventh grade going
Going home. And
Going
telling
home.
Mom.
getting into the car with your mother,
Ooh.
that was her clarinet in
Oh,
in high school. And yeah,
I
hey
met your mom. I
Ma.
bet that didn't go well.
No, it didn't go over very well. Which amazingly, that's why I started playing bass clarinet because it was a school
The
instrument.
school had one.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the first one to get me in rock and roll was my first guitar. My parents, I didn't even ask for one. It's Christmas, 8th grade, and they did this whole deal where you had to read the clues and go find it, type of thing.
Scavenger hunt.
Ended up finding a guitar, and it was a cheapy thing that they bought from an auction, just something like a Frankenstein guitar, a bunch of different parts from different guitars on this thing, and the tuners were all just like bent and crazy, but I loved it, man. And I learned how to play Dead or Alive. Bon Jovi, Dead or Alive was my first song I ever learned, was on that guitar.
Oh.
And I still remember my brother. This is back in the day with the phones that were still on walls. And I was playing Dead or Alive up in my bedroom, and he went racing to the phone, grabbed it, and he was calling it our buddy Les. He's like, Les, listen to this. This is my brother. And he like sticking the phone out, and I'm sitting there just. It was, yeah,
That's magic.
it was magic.
And he was hooked.
And I was hooked. Yeah, that's my story.
That's a great story.
Thanks, bud.
Top that, Jeff.
Well, let's see. My first instrument would have been in junior high when I was in orchestra and picked up the cello.
Oh,
And, yeah. And I thought I was pretty cool at that point because I was, holding this big instrument, and I was the badass at that point, because
you still
they
are.
didn't have the stand-up basses in junior high, so that was the mother of all orchestral instruments at that point in time. But no,
Twinkle, twinkle, little
my
star.
first rock and roll instrument was one that I purchased from a local music store called Belly Brothers that used to be here in McPherson, and it was a Series 10 4-string all white bass.
Yes. I
And
used to
that
sell
was a
those.
popular, that between that and Takamine, those were the two top brands, I guess you could say at that point, at least here locally. So I thought I was the stuff,
Well, that's
It
awesome.
just took off from there.
Yeah, man.
Did you have a band back then?
I did not. I took lessons for about 6 months from he has a store, or he had a store over there in Hutch, and he played a bass guitar in a band called Wizard that played 80s music, 80s Def Leppard, stuff like that. And I thought he was pretty cool because I was into that kind of music back then. So he gave me lessons for about 6 months. I learned the basics, and then I said, that's enough. I can do it.
Yeah, then you never learned anything else.
Nope.
I'm kidding. You are a fantastic bassist.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I like
See,
to
I
think
kept a
that.
straight face when I said that.
You did.
Yeah, it was impressive. Impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Why
Thank
were
you.
You don't
shaking
give compliments very often, so
Well,
I'm glad this is being recorded.
There's usually a punchline after any
It'll be edited.
compliment there.
yeah, I'm just setting you up. I'm going to tear
No,
you
but-
down later. Don't worry.
Yeah, Series 10. I still see Series 10 guitars out there every now and then, but yeah, it was a cool guitar. It's kind of like a cheap Jackson.
You still have it, or did you sell it?
No, I don't have it. It's been long gone.
Dang it. Well, Curtis, if you can remember that many guitars ago, what'd you start with?
Well, funny, I used to sell Series 10 guitars. They were made by St. Louis Music, the same company that made Alvarez guitars.
Oh,
Series 10 guitars were plywood guitars, just in case you didn't know that. But anyway, so my introduction to playing guitar was my dad was a guitar player, but he was like a surf music, the Ventures, the Safaris, that kind of stuff. And all of that stuff, if you're familiar with that style of music, is 2 guitar stuff. And so I'm about 10 years old, and dad starts making me learn how to play. So he has somebody to play with. And so he had an old Kingston, which was a Sunburst, kind of a Strat style. Wasn't really a Strat, but it was kind of a weird Strat Jaguar slash kind of a thing. And I literally, like, he would give me, like, during the summer, I remember it was like, I had to have like the E chord learned by the time he got home from work. And if I didn't have it done, I got a spanking, kind of a thing. So that was like, so learning guitar wasn't like a fun experience for me. It was forced.
sure.
And so finally, at some point in there, he finally gave up because I just wasn't into it, and I was taking a lot of beatings. And so he gave up on me, and I stopped. But then about, I don't know, 3-4 years later, I just naturally kind of gravitated to it and started doing it myself. And everybody has that song that kind of like kicked them into it. And I remember listening to Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. And I asked my dad, what makes that sound? And he thought it was the bass. So he had an old Kingston bass, like up in the attic somewhere. And I got that thing out, and I'm jacking around on that. That didn't sound anything like what I was hearing. And so long story short, I started playing on that Kingston and But I guess my first real guitar though was I was in high school, it's my freshman year. A buddy of mine slams into the back of my car on accident as we're leaving the parking lot. And my dad talked, and they decided to turn it into insurance. And my car was still operable. It was fine. But I get this check for $410 from his insurance company made out to me. And they say, you're 14 years old and you got $400, you know?
Wow.
So I went to Miller Music in Wichita and I bought an Ibanez Roadstar 2, if you remember those. It was a green guitar with gold hardware, and it had a locking system on it. And the guy I bought it from was a guy named John Miller, who actually owned the store, Miller Music. And John was showing me how you could like hit a note and like just go until the strings are all floppy and then release it, and it stayed in tune. And that just blew me away, because if you know, as a beginning guitar player, tuning a guitar is like
The worst part.
hugest hurdle you come across. And so in my mind, I'm thinking I never have to tune this. and so he cut me a deal, and for $400, I got that guitar. I got a Boss heavy metal pedal, and I got a Trainer Block 100 GT amplifier. And then I proceeded to spend about 5 hours a day locked in my bedroom. And I just learned, like, you know, I had learned like the Ventures, and I had learned that kind of stuff. That was something I could play for my friends, and that wasn't even cool, you know? So I learned off the Def Leppard's very first album. There's a song on that album. I don't even remember the name of it now, something about rock. But anyway, I learned that song note for note just by hitting rewind and play, rewind, play, rewind, play on the cassette. And anyway, so that was kind of, and then when I played that, like I played it for my dad to show him. And then he like brought some friends in and said, hey, play that song again. And I played it, and his friends were blown away. These grown men are like getting all excited about my playing. And that kind of was like that was the icing on the cake, man. I was sold, man, at that point. Then I was all in at that point and just kept hammering away at it. And here I am. I don't know what, 10 years later, you know, now I'm 24. Still doing it.
When you're young and somebody tells you, you know, you play your music and somebody gets that look on their face like they're genuinely impressed, that's all it takes to solidify you as a musician for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
as soon as,
you know, it's funny you say, so the very first time I had a band and we went in the studio and recorded an album, the recording engineer was a guy named Larry Funk. And now I know Larry Funk is kind of a big deal, but obviously at that time I didn't really know he was a big deal, other than he was an engineer in a recording studio, right? Which put him kind of at almost God area. I mean, he was like in that rarefied air kind of a thing. And I was working on my guitar solos, and I got done with a take, and it was quiet because he stopped the music, and it was just quiet. And he's sitting there, and all the guys are in the booth, and I'm out there in the room by myself, just standing there, and it's like total silence. And he hits the mic and he goes, man, I really like your playing style. It is really cool. And I'm telling you, I rode that train for 10 years, man. This guy had recorded, and this is going to sound stupid, but this guy had recorded New Kids on the Block. This guy had recorded heavy hitters. And for him to say that I played good, I mean, yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, punch my ticket. I was done. So,
yeah.
Eric, what about you, buddy?
Cool. Well, I was just going to say, I wish we could have got that response from the engineer when we recorded these last songs, but whatever. Shout out to Jason Catlett Music. So my first, since we're doing all the instrument thing, I when I was a kid, I always wanted to play drums. I beat on everything in the house. I had to beat on pillows. I beat on the dashboard when we were riding in the car. My first drum kit I ever actually made was Quaker Oat tubs, Cool Whip tubs, various country crock butter tubs, and then I took a Folgers lid and punched a hole in it and then hung it, and that was my cymbal.
Yep.
So I had my first drum set that way. Well, then in I guess it was 8th grade. Okay, well, going back 5th grade, it was time to do band, and I really wanted to play drums. I want to play drums so bad. And the band director says, we've got drummers. I want you to play the trumpet. And I was so mad because I didn't want to play. I'm a drummer, damn it. And but lo and behold, I played trumpet those first couple years. Junior high, I switched to the baritone. by high school, I was playing tuba. And, you know, I went to state and did solos and all that. And I even played tuba in college for a little while. And, but I asked him, my band director, years later, and I was like, why didn't you let me play the drums? And he told me because he knew I was musical and wanted me to learn music. He didn't want me to just learn quarter notes and eighth notes. You know, he wanted me to actually learn more. And I'm so thankful he did that.
Yeah.
Because it just gave me a lot more musical knowledge. As far as drums go, I got my first kit in 8th grade. Actually, I borrowed the school's kit for a summer, beat the hell out of it. And then my dad was like, okay, we're going to get you your own kit. So we found one on a classified, and it ended up being from Lane Bador, which none of you guys know. He's out of Hill City, and he used to play in a band called Cruiser back in the day. And then after that, he was the drummer for Planet Arsenal, which, Jeff, you remember Planet Arsenal, right? So Lane was the drummer they had up to the end of that band. And I went and bought a 1980 something Pearl President Series all chrome kit with 14, 16, 18 toms, huge 24-inch kick drum, big, ridiculous rock and roll 80s rock and roll drum set. Played that thing for years in metal bands and blues band before I finally bought the kit I have now. But I still got that kit right up there in the corner.
I see it.
Yep. Someday I'm going to refinish that thing.
She's a beaut, Clark.
She's a beaut. And yeah, so that was my first ever my drum kit right there.
Yeah.
Let's do what's on your mind.
Well, I'm going to say what's on my mind is Sweet 16 bound University of Kansas.
Yeah.
They going to play Providence.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, everybody seems to have this who's a KU fan seems to think that Providence is going to catch fire from 3-point range and knock KU out. So
I've never
how it always happens.
I've never known a more pessimistic fan base than KU basketball.
Well, I'm telling you,
the tournament.
Well, if we
you
have
met the
reason to
Chiefs?
be.
Have you met the Chiefs fans?
Well, yeah, that's true. No, they've been optimistic lately for some
Yeah,
reason.
I mean, until recently, yeah, I've been pretty happy about that. But no, I'd say, yeah, KU has given KU fans lots of reasons to be pessimistic.
Oh, sure. Well, the tournament's hard for everybody, man. Only one team gets out alive, you know.
Yeah,
it's been a good tournament so far.
Has been a lot of upsets, a lot of fun games,
a lot of big action.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and all I can say, we're still going. So I like it.
I like it. Curtis, you strike me as a big college basketball fan. Am I right?
You betcha. You betcha.
Well, what's on your mind, Curtis?
You know, I got this weekend, Sunday night, I went and saw Seven Dust.
Oh, yeah.
At the Cotillion. That was a good show. They had a couple bands open for them. They had one Dead Poet Society. I hadn't heard of them.
Very a movie from the 90s.
Yeah, Dead Poet
Robin
Society.
Williams.
Very highly suspect sounding.
Oh.
And then the second opener was a band called Tetrarch.
Oh, Tetrarch, yeah.
Definitely a corn ripoff band. I say that because literally you could seam every song they played together and you never had to stop. The drum beats were exactly the same. The guitar part sound, everything was exactly the same. It was, I think they were good at what they do. And I've gone back and kind of checked out some stuff on Spotify. And I mean, it sounds all right. And so I'm just saying live, it didn't come across well. It just sounded like they just kept playing the same song over and over.
Gotcha.
And every drum part was just every single one. No change in the beat. I think it was all the same tempo too.
Really?
You know,
live drummer, or was it a drum?
Oh yeah. It was live.
Really? Wow.
And then the guitar player
Electronic.
really relied too heavily on the effects. I mean, we had all kinds of the whole Rage Against the Machine thing with the crazy harmonic pitches going and stuff. It was like, are you trying to hide you can't play, or are you just that artistic? I just didn't get it. But then Seven Dust came out and they did the entire Animosity album front to back. But they didn't play any of the hit of, they didn't play anything off of Home.
Really?
They didn't play, nothing, man. I'm telling you, it was a surprise. I mean, I was really disappointed. They didn't do Denial. They didn't do Waffle. They didn't do Licking Cream. They didn't do any of that.
Really?
But anyway, it was a good show. And then Thursday, I'm going down to Dallas Thursday. I'm going to go see Last in Line. And Last in Line, for anybody that doesn't follow that, that would be Ronnie James Dio's band without him. And they're still going and they're still doing stuff. And I've never seen, I'm a huge Dio fan. I've been a Dio fan
Right.
since the mid 80s. I've never seen Vivian Campbell. He's the guy that was Dio's guitar player on the first 3 albums, and then they had a falling out, and then Vivian left, and then he started a band called River Dogs, and that really didn't go anywhere. But then he ended up being the other guitar player in Def Leppard, and he's still, I think, the other guitar player in Def Leppard. But anyway, I've never seen him live, and so we're going to go down to Dallas, and I want to see them live just so I can say I've seen Viv. So
Does he have all of his hands?
yeah, yeah. Well, the whole Def Leppard get it. Ding, ding, ding. Anyway,
Is that what you were going for?
Just trying to, yeah.
The one arm joke.
so I guess on my mind is getting ready to go down and see that show, and yeah, looking forward to it.
That's cool. So you can just take off work anytime you want, basically.
Well, I do have a ton of vacation time that I never have an opportunity to use, so
There you go.
I got to use it when I can. Yeah,
It's good to be king, right?
there you go. There you go. Words to
Jeff,
live
what's
by.
on your mind?
It's interesting. Curtis brought Tetrarch up because a friend of mine said he went to that show and he's put a video in the messenger, and I was checking it out, and I'd heard the band before. Wasn't really that familiar with them, but there was another video that was with that they talked about their gear and what they used and everything. And the guitar players both have really simple setups. I mean, there's hardly anything there. They're ESP endorsees, and they have Stephen Carpenter 7 strings, and they play in drop A. They were talking about all that. So it is, and they are big Korn influenced. Both the guitar players are very Korn
Well,
influenced. So
Jeff, I'll say, having been there, they're full of crap, because I'm telling you, that guitar player, not one time did she take a lead that didn't have crazy amounts of effects, so much so
Really?
that you couldn't make out what she was even doing. It was, it was like, if you think about the effect at the end of Killing in the Name by Rage,
Mhm.
that effect he's using, she was using that on steroids throughout the show. It was too much. It was, as a guitar player, it was just way too much.
Yeah, it almost makes me wonder if that's just something that's being done behind the scenes, with because that happens before, where you have you have your roadie running all your effects. And
Now she was on the board. She had her
Okay.
foot on the board. Yeah. Cause it's kind of a wah effect. You
Oh,
hit
I
a
see.
note, and then when you dump it, it goes, wee, like
Oh,
takes
yeah,
it up,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, whammy wah. Yeah, that's another Korn thing there too.
Yeah.
So,
But it was too much. I mean, just
Yeah,
my opinion.
I hear you.
She's
hear
a touring artist. I'm not. So what do I know? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They had actually called us about opening for them on a next tour, but they're going to hear this and we're going to get done. So thanks a
No,
lot,
they
guys.
see. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there. I didn't see it, but from the video, they seem all pretty mellow and laid back. And anyways, so I thought that was cool that they didn't use a lot of effects, but maybe they do. But anyways, no, on my mind really right now is this weekend. I was coming back from Hutch. I was getting my stuff ready to come to Salina, and I hit this hole on the way back to my house here, and it just jarred the whole truck. I was like, what the heck is going on? So and my steering wheel went cockeyed. So now I'm putting it in the shop tomorrow to get an alignment done on it. But anyways, went back and looked at this hole, and long story short, it ended up making public right to know because it's a freaking sinkhole. And so when I hit it, it was probably about probably 2 feet in diameter, and it was just one of those things where the asphalt kind of lowers, and you can't really see it until you're right up on it. But anyways, I hit it. When I went back to check, I stuck my phone, down above the hole, the light. I couldn't see the bottom of the hole, and come to find out today, I found out that it was probably back in the day an old water well or something. And so it
Really?
was so the hole's like 8 feet deep, and it's like 4 or 5 feet around now because it
Wow.
expanded out. So yeah, so that's kind of been on my mind. I was like, man, what would have happened that would have
Mhm.
actually grown a little more, and I would have hit that. Yeah, I could have been pretty screwed up. So
Dude, if you'd have been late, we'd have docked your pay if you'd have been late. That's all
so I was pretty fortunate. Yeah, I was happy that even though I'm gonna have to pay for an alignment, I'm happy that I didn't hit it at a later time. And I did call the police and report it so that that same thing wouldn't happen to anybody else. But it's like, come on, guys, let's get this road in good condition. Obviously, that's not something that's to be expected, but there's enough other problems with this road that's leading out to our house that the city's just got to take care of it. But it is what it is. But I felt fortunate that me myself, I didn't have more of a severe problem than what I did. So, and there's really a lot of other stuff that after thinking about it, that is nothing compared to what some people in this world are dealing with right now. So
Yeah,
know,
but it's still a problem, man.
Yeah. Right,
This just drives me nuts about people who are like, yeah, but think about those Ukrainians, what they're going through.
right.
Yeah,
But
no,
in the
I get it,
in
but
the grand
my problem
scheme
isn't
of
going to be
things,
as bad as that, but it's still a problem, and it still affects
is.
me. I mean,
it
yeah.
is.
Cool.
In the
Rich
grand-
just got us canceled. We're done.
in the grand scheme of things,
Mhm.
it is what it is. But I mean, it's something that's been on my mind because I keep thinking
Well-
about how big that hole got, and it's like, man, what if
Well, Jeff-
me or somebody else hit that once it expanded?
Well, my question is when Bob and Larry were building that road and they said, "Oh, there's a big hole here, Bob. All right, Larry, just roll some asphalt over top of it. It'll be fine."
No, think about the old lady who was just going to get water from this water
And
well.
there's like, who put this damn road here?
She comes back the next day.
Yeah. Well, this all used to be
Well,
farm. This all used to be
what
farmland.
tarnations?
So
she put some curse on it. May the may
The next guy who drives
The
a
next
Dodge.
guy-
the next guy that drives
the
over
next
this,
the next guy named Jeff that runs over this is gonna.
Yeah.
Is,
may-
Yeah, the guy who asphalted the road was Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's-
and it's like Jeff's great grandfather that was the one that did that. Sins of the father.
that could have been.
Mhm.
I don't know yet what would have been the intro for this podcast, so maybe it'll have something to do with. Thanks for telling us about your giant hole, Jeff.
my pothole.
Your pothole. All right, so fans, we're gonna work on some more new music for you. We didn't even talk about that,
Mhm.
but we're gonna do that. We're going to we're probably gonna come out with some more video content. We've got a song dropping on the 31st. Burning is the name of that song. You can what's it called?
Pre-save.
Is it pre-save?
Free access.
Pre-access. You can do all that now if you go to the places where you get the music, and you can go to our website in your email address, and you can get you can see the lyric video now.
And you can come to our next show. When's that, Eric?
That our next show is April
8th.
at Jerry's in Wichita.
Yes.
Good.
And I tell you
April
what.
9th, I have a fireworks show. So
Tell you what, if you've never seen anybody two-step to Nirvana, you need to come out to that.
Yeah.
Yep, that's absolutely the truth.
Hey, and speaking of, I finally got the Rusty Needle in Hutch finally committed to June 18th for us in Hutchinson. So
Juneteenth.
No,
June
that's
18th.
19th. June 19th and
18th.
Juneteenth. Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll be in Hutch. We'll be in what's that other town? Topeka in May.
In May.
May
Yep.
what?
Yep. Yep.
May 17th or something like that.
19th, I believe.
That's May 10th.
May 10th would be, that would be on May 21st.
May 21st. All right.
Watch our Facebook. That's
Watch Facebook, website, YouTube, Instagram. Like this podcast, like
Farm-
this episode. Go watch the other videos on our channel, like them, subscribe to our channel. I imagine you're already subscribed if you're watching this.
Yep.
If you're that dedicated. Yeah, show us some love, and we'll keep doing what we're doing, and we'll be back next week for some more grade A content.
Did we mention, we're probably really late in the podcast to mention the fact that we're the 2022 new artist of the year?
It's very late in the podcast.
We
for that.
probably should have mentioned that way before now.
You know what? I will, but I'll put the picture up and in post. I'll put the award up so everyone can see it.
Gotcha.
And,
Very good.
Yeah.
Movie magic.
movie magic. I've got all sorts of movie magic. Not
Yeah,
like
just-
Curtis though. Anyway, thanks everybody. Have a great week. And
Be kind
be
to homeless
kind.
people, please.
don't be kind to anyone ever. Jeff,
Oh, yeah.
show us the bottle opener so we can call it a night.
Oh, yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks.